Thank you.
Now we got rolled over.
Christine,
Est-ce que vous voulez les casser en anglais ou en français? En anglais. Each team has 20 minutes to present its case to the judges. I will show a board for the 10, 5, last 2 minutes and the last 30 seconds of the presentation. During the last 10 seconds of the speech, I will indicate by means of my two hands the number of remaining seconds. A team not having ended its presentation after 20 minutes will be stopped to move on to the period of questions. A period of questions of a maximum duration of 5 minutes is assigned to the jury at the end of the presentation. I would like to remind you to each judge that it's mandatory to ask at least one question during this period. I will invite the judges to introduce themselves.
Hi, Olivier Racine, HR Business Partner for Solotech.
Hi, Geneviève Boucher, Training and Organizational Development Advisor.
I'm Mathieu Lafarge. I'm Vice President of Information Technology and Marketing Consulting.
Hi, Julien Catafort, Application Lead for Solotech.
Lights.
Camera.
Action. Solotech has enjoyed great success over the years within the audiovisual sector. And with the emergence of new technologies, there's a great opportunity for Solotech to grow as a business. That being said, with those opportunities comes a wide range of challenges that Solotech will need to address in order to grow in the future. And therefore, it is important for the business to realign their business and set some goals in order to match the market trends in order to move forward. And this will allow Solotech to remain a spotlight in the industry, and we are confident that this presentation is the very first step in reaching that goal. Members of the panel, good morning. My name is Jean-Antoine Tokirimana. I'm here with my colleagues David Gallo and Christine Sige. We are from Prestige Consulting, and this morning we are super excited to present to you our recommendation and solution to the mandate that was provided to us. So to quickly go over the agenda, we'll start with the primary problem and the mandate. Next, we'll jump right into the analysis of your current business, and then we'll provide our recommendation for the new information system. Then we'll present our implementation plan for that new information system. Then we'll go over some of the risks and mitigation plan for that new information system. We'll also go over some of the finances, some of the costs and profit drivers, as well as a budget for that new information system. And we'll end it off with a Q&A period to answer any of your questions that you may have.
So the first step with any business case is to establish exactly what the business problem is that Solotech is facing. What we currently have is a system where we have a number of different information systems scattered and fragmented as you acquire new businesses and grow your business. Unfortunately, this leads to a lot of problems with data quality and just the efficiency with which you can do your work. So it's important, therefore, to analyze your business needs and from there recommend a new ERP centralized that will fulfill all the business requirements that you need without that fragmentation between different systems.
So we've outlined 3 key performance indicators that we'll use as benchmarks for success for this new ERP. The first one being a 25% increase in employee efficiency, which will measure through the number of tasks that employees are conducting. We'll also want a complete adoption of the new ERP, which will measure through the number of employees that are adopting the system in their everyday use. As well, we want a 35% reduction in information errors, which will measure by time spent correcting errors. We'll now begin with an analysis, both a gap and environmental analysis, where your company is right now. So we'll look at where you are right now versus where you want to be. Currently, you are continually growing, and you're growing very quickly with an increase in 200 employees since last year. But we want you to be a global leader in sales and rentals of AV equipment. Currently, there are poorly integrated systems due to different acquisitions, so we want to have a unification of operations through this new ERP system. As well, there's a lack of cohesion in IT management from branch to branch, so we want to have a synergized IT strategy and practices throughout the entire company. I'll now pass it on to Jean-Martin to do the environmental analysis.
Thank you. Starting with what Solotech does well. Well, Solotech is a growing company. Solotech not only operates throughout North America, but literally across the globe. Solotech also has a great client portfolios ranging from many entertainment and music stars from Celine Dion and Paul McCartney and so forth, and also major events such as the Rebel Crushed Ice and the Cirque du Soleil. The second point about a strong benefit, or a strong advantage from Solutech is the strong financial backing from 3 major investors in the province of Quebec. And this allows the company to have sustainable growth over time. Another major point has to do within your human resource and warehouse strategy. You have a very strong strategy with regards to your people, where you have a major proportion of your employee or your staff being permanently on call at remote locations. So rather than having them at physical location, that gives you an edge with regards to the mobility of today's era. Another point is your your warehouse strategy, where you are able to reduce a lot of time in the on-site installation phase and so forth. So that's very beneficial long term. So what Solutech needs to work on, starting with the legacy system. Your system is currently outdated and is rather old, which can be very counterproductive for your day-to-day operations. You also, as Christine mentioned, a decentralized information system, not only for the simple fact that you have different offices across North America, but you also have different systems operating at the same time, so this can be a bit difficult for employees to manage the information. This leads me to my next point, is that there's a lot of manual entry, starting from your labor planning, your resource planning, and also your finances. So this can actually lead to unnecessary information errors and duplicacy. What to watch out for? Well, there's 3 major points, starting with cybersecurity. This is probably the most important threat with regards to organizational information system. Cybersecurity actually affects a lot of businesses, even the bigger ones. And it is very important for Solutech to make sure that they have the proper safeguards and encourage great IT security practices across your offices. Another point has to do with the business environment itself. Event security, there's, as you know, a lot of concern with public safety and public security, especially with wide open spaces. So regarding your very valuable asset, you need to take that into consideration while you're opening in new offices and new locations across the globe. As been always speaking of globalization, the global competition, there is a threat with regards to the fact that globalization has actually reduced or lowered the barrier to entry to new competitors. So price competition is going to be higher, improving and putting a lot of pressure on adding value to your clients. Client satisfaction will be something that needs to be considered going forward for your company, for the company. All that being said, there's definitely a wide range of opportunities, starting with integrating your current information system that you have. So rather than operating in different silos, there's a lot of opportunities in integrating all your system into a single centralized information system. By integrating the information system, you could leverage a lot of opportunities with regards to data analytics. This will allow you to have some automated task automation and provide insight on where you are on the projects and where you are with your current financial levels as you move forward. You've also considered implementing or introducing an online platform, so that could be a great revenue generator to provide, to rent and sell some of your equipment that you currently offer to your business clients. Last but not least, has to do with the other side of globalization. Entering new markets will actually expose you to new customers, whether it's small or larger enterprise across the globe. And based on our gap analysis and our environmental analysis, our key takeaways here is really to adopt a centralized enterprise resource planning system that will help Solutech expand globally for many more years. Now I'll pass it over to David to show you how we will go about doing this.
Thank you, Jean-Martin. So what we've done now is decided that there are 3 options that your company can take when moving forward with this new ERP system to adopt. The first is a cloud-based software as a service platform that has everything available online. Second is a commercial off-the-shelf solution, or out-of-the-box solution, if you will, that's readily accessible. And the third one is proprietary development through open source information that's already available for free. What we've done now is created 6 different criteria and ranked them on an urgency importance matrix. These 6 criteria are what we are going to use to determine which of the 3 options is best for Solotech. On the top left, we have important and urgent items. These need to be addressed as soon as possible, and they're critical to the success of the new ERP. Mobility talks about how easy it is for employees to use this new system wherever they are. Your company prides itself on being flexible and able to implement large-scale or small-scale projects very quickly and very effectively. And employees rely on having access to information about the company wherever they are, whether it's on a mobile device or a computer, or whether they're at their home base or home office. Therefore, it's important that whatever system we choose is easily accessible wherever they are and highly mobile. The second is employee impact. Employees need to feel like they're not being hampered by the system. If it's too difficult to learn and the learning curve is too steep, employees will have trouble adopting it. So it's very important that whatever system we choose has clear benefits and is easy to use. The third point is user support. This is from the software vendor. So as you implement the system in the beginning, and as you use the system ongoing, it's important that whatever software provider you choose does have support available for you, because inevitably problems or issues will arise, and it's important to address these and leverage them to grow the ERP instead of having it slow you down. On the top right, we have issues that are important, but less important to address immediately. Upgradability is important as your company grows. You don't want a system that in 5 to 10 years is holding you back, and you have to go through the entire process again of purchasing or deciding which ERP solution to acquire. So therefore, it's important that whatever ERP solution is chosen can grow with your business instead of holding you back. Cost is also on the top right. This is because we feel that whatever solution is chosen, the cost should be balanced by the revenue generated and the enhanced productivity you get from the system. So while it is, of course, an important factor to consider, in the long run, it shouldn't be an issue. On the bottom left, we do have an issue that is important, but less so than the other ones. Speed of implementation is the next item. Whatever system you choose would be ideal to implement as soon as possible in order to grow your business as quickly as you can. Your business is not currently failing with your current information systems. It's just inefficient and could be improved. So therefore, it's less important than the other issues, but is urgent to do as soon as possible. We've now ranked each of the 3 options based on each of the criteria to show you which one would be best for your company. For mobility, we see cloud-based by far taking the lead. It's superior because you can view it anywhere and any place as long as you have access to the internet, making it far better than the other 2 options available to you. Next up, we have employee impact. Open source is, of course, the best one for employee impact because if you develop the software yourself, you can tailor around employee needs. Next up, we have upgradability. Cloud-based does win again for this. This is because many software vendors with cloud-based solutions already anticipate companies growing and therefore have a plethora of different modules available for purchase as the company grows. Next, we have cost. Off the shelf, of course, is the cheapest option because it's the ready box, ready-made one, ready to go for your business. Next, we have speed of implementation. Again, an off-the-shelf solution, because it is so limited and because it is so concise, is the quickest to adopt. However, for user support, we do see cloud-based taking the lead. This is because a lot of cloud-based providers are aware that their users require the ongoing support, and because they're online-based, they have access through their live chats or online to help users instead of having to go physically to a location. Basically what we've done is compared the 3 options, and we can clearly see that a cloud-based solution is the best option for your company. Therefore, choosing a large provider with a consistent track record of good services and with many modules for you to choose from as your company grows is the best option to choose. What we've done now is developed an implementation strategy. Exactly what it's going to look like for your company to adopt this new ERP. Starting with a dashboard look at what modules should be included straight off the bat, and then a 3-stage process, each one taking approximately 9 months.
So first we've created a dashboard of all the important modules that you should have in the new ERP system. So finances, human resources, scheduling, projects, CRM, and inventory management are all key to your business and are all modules that definitely are critical to the ERP system. This would all be integrated together so you'll be able to access information and all the information will be linked through the different modules so that employees can access any information that they would need. Now I'll go through the first phase of the implementation plan. So in the 0 to 9 months time phase, we'll be selecting a large cloud-based service provider based on decision criteria. And the VP of Information Technology would be a key actor in this step of the implementation plan. We'll also be purchasing new hardware and new mobile devices for all of your employees to ensure that this system runs smoothly as possible, and this will be done by the infrastructure lead. We'll also hire data migration specialists who will be moving all your data from your legacy system into the new system so that employees can be working efficiently as possible, as quickly as possible, and this will be done by the human resources team. As well, we'll be introducing the ERP system and doing testing, which will be done by the software vendor and IT team.
Moving on, we have 9 to 18 months. In this section, we're going to communicate and incentivize the new system. This is really critical to ensure complete employee adoption as quickly as possible. This will be done by management, and the two major ideas that will be used is a launch event and regular newsletters. The launch event will basically mark this new ERP as a huge step forward for the company, a huge milestone, if you will. This will give employees a sense of urgency that this needs to be adopted and that this is the way that they're going to move forwards with. To encourage and remind employees of this new system, regular newsletters sent to all employees will do exactly that. The second point is to train employees on the new system. This will be done through training week with the software vendor, where all employees will have the chance to use the new system based on their needs. And then the software vendor will, of course, provide ongoing training support along with the IT team to the users in the company should they have any questions as they move forwards. The final point is to begin data migration. So the team of data migration specialists that have been hired will begin moving data from the old legacy systems to the new ERP and linking information together to allow you to, for instance, draw information about different projects that are on the go and the finances related to those projects.
So for the long term, so 18 and plus, you want Solutech needs to make sure that they evaluate the success of the completion of the project. So you want to look at some of the deliverables that were met on time within budget. You also want to make sure that the company address all of the issues of the new ERP system that was implemented and see if something needs to be improved for future upgrades. And this will be done by the IT team, and management will take care of evaluating the success of the project from a high-level perspective. Last but not least, you do want to look into expand future new modules into the ERP system that is currently implemented as your business grows and as you open new offices across the globe. This will also be done by IT.
So now we can conclude that we believe that our new ERP system will meet all 3 of the KPIs that we established earlier. We believe that this ERP system will have a 25% increase in employee efficiency by having the employees have all the information that is linked together and is more easily accessible so that they can complete their tasks quicker. We also believe that we'll have a complete adoption of the new ERP system by all employees as they see all the benefits of participating in this new ERP system and using it in their daily tasks, as it will definitely benefit them. As well as a 35% reduction in information errors, since all of the information is in the one system and does not need to be transferred between different information systems.
So there are a few key risks that do need to be addressed, as well as some mitigation strategies for them. And the 2 that we have identified as being the key players are cybersecurity and employee adoption. Cybersecurity is a risk when adopting any new information system. It's important, therefore, to select a service provider with very few data breaches and a proven track record of consistent and reliable service when it comes to data security. Encryption of the data is also an important feature to add. It's also important to limit access to the system from employees. Employees only have access to modules that they need to work on. So someone working in HR probably won't have access to finances of different projects unless it's necessary for their business needs. Regular password changes, unique employee logons, and audit trails are all key steps to ensure that the data that's in the system is protected as much as possible. Finally, employee adoption. Having employees not willing to use the system is a huge problem, because if the system is not adopted by all employees, it won't see any success. It's therefore important to train and emphasize benefits to all the employees, using branch champions to see which employees are, to give certain employees extra knowledge and expertise in the ERP to be able to teach and guide other employees as role models and as leaders.
To quickly go over some of the finance, some of the cost and profit drivers. We want to start with the cost drivers. Obviously, you'll have to purchase the quarterly subscription for the ERP. You want to upgrade your hardware to meet the hardware requirements of the ERP system. You also want to obviously put some fees on data migration and also user training. Definitely, there's a wide range of profit drivers, starting with the reduced costs in the maintenance of your IT infrastructure. It also will ultimately reduce the turnaround time using that new information system and therefore save some costs. And also you will expand new markets as your business grow globally. And last but not least, you'll have, by implementing the online shopping solution, a new revenue stream. If we could go over the budget, starting with the ERP, the training costs, and the data migration, as well as the hardware upgrades, we're looking at an investment of $1.6 million. The good thing about that is most of the costs will be one-time costs and not recurring costs.
To conclude, we believe that this new ERP system of a cloud-based software as a service provided by a large company will be the next step in ensuring that your company grows exponentially without worrying about data quality and data issues. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Who starts?
I can go.
Go ahead.
VP first?
If you want.
Go.
First time, okay. I like your KPIs. They're tied to things that we can really measure. It's very important. I'd like to know the logic behind them. You mentioned a 25% increase in the efficiency of employees and the reduction in errors. What brought you there, and maybe can we tie all this to profitability? Because you keep mentioning in the rest of the presentation, and this is great, that this is going to help us make more money. How can we say by increasing our efficiency we're going to make more money? And is there any logic you would bring? Because ultimately we're going to have to go get money to fund this project. So maybe you could explain that.
For sure. So I'm just going to go back so that we have
the
slides. Right. So the way we came up with each one, the logic behind each one basically, is we wanted to choose the ones that are most critical, I guess, to adopting this new system. So employee efficiency is kind of like the baseline, because this is your profitability. Employees that are working, that are able to complete more tasks in less time means that you are paying the employees for the same amount, but the productivity that they're generating, the revenue they're generating is higher. So there is the direct link there between the sales that are made, the time spent by the employees, and the increased productivity that you get from that. Complete adoption of the ERP, basically if all employees are working on the ERP, that means that you don't have any issues with more time loss basically and less efficiency. And then finally, the reduction in information errors. Having to correct old issues is time consuming and does cost a lot of money, and that could lead to financial issues. If somebody accidentally types in a wrong number in a financial statement, that could be critical and cause a large issue down the road. So we feel that these three are really good, well-rounded indicators of the success of the ERP and are directly linked to the profitability, because more efficient work by the employees leads to more revenues at the same cost. Is there anything else that I can add to that?
Yeah, how would you go about it and quantify it? Because I can see myself sitting in front of the board and saying, I need 1.6 million, so, and I'm going to increase your efficiency. So they're going to say, how are you going to increase it? What would be the formula you would build so that we could put a number on these these three KPIs? Let's say the second one is not necessarily financial, but the first and last one are really financial. So how would you measure that and say to them, this is what it's going to bring you?
Sure. So efficiency can really lead to number of sales. So straight up just revenue generated from rentals and from selling equipment. So if we find out with the new ERP system, we're hoping that through the 25% increase in employee efficiency, that will directly lead to a higher number of sales, which is your revenue. So basically, you can, to the board of directors, you can present with this new $1.6 million system, we can expect an increase in revenue of approximately 25% or however much it ends up being annually, which will offset the cost of $1.6 million and allow your company to continue to grow. So reducing the number of improving the number of tasks that the employees are completing, whether it's in the warehouse or a number of sales, for instance, they're using this new system to be able to improve that productivity. So number of sales, I guess, the revenue generated from that would offset and allow you to measure the cost versus the benefit of the new system.
Good. Thank you.
I saw that you you had a training plan, a training budget. As you know, we have a lot of employees who work, they are not on site, they are around the world. So how do you think you will be able to plan the training for those employees?
So because we chose a cloud-based system. Online training is actually very prevalent with all the companies that offer the system, so it's very easy for employees at anywhere in the world, basically, to understand and learn how to use the system, both hands-on as they work on it online, and also through online training. So even though they might not be available for the training, for instance, that would take place, they can still participate using either webinars, as they're able to actually interact with the system instead of just viewing a video of how to interact with it. They can actually hands-on experience it. And this is provided by the software vendors. They already have online training available, so you can work from home and not just see a video of how it's done, but actually work hands-on with the system because it is cloud-based.
I see there's not a lot of time, but I see in the budget there's the biggest expense is the hardware. How do you conciliate this with your recommendation to go in the cloud?
Okay, so basically the reason that we came up with hardware as costing this much is because it's important. This isn't the server maintenance cost. This is the employees what they're going to be using. So if you're looking at growing exponentially, you want to be able to be as mobile as possible. And though I'm sure that the employees currently have access.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It was great. Thank you.